Toyota is betting that the future of the car may not be fully electric. At a time when the automotive industry is racing toward battery electric vehicles, Toyota is taking a very different approach. The company is developing a new generation of combustion engines designed specifically for the electrification era. And that creates a fascinating question. Could Toyota's strategy actually challenge the dominance of battery EVs? Toyota says its new engines are being developed to work together with electric motors, batteries, and other electric drive components. The company is also exploring carbon-neutral fuels, including hydrogen, e-fuels, and biofuels. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. Where does Elon Musk stand on this strategy? And more importantly, could Toyota's approach expose a weakness in the electric-only future? The answer isn't as simple as gasoline versus electricity. Because Toyota isn't necessarily choosing the past. It may be trying to redesign the combustion engine for a very different future. Before we call this a war against EVs, there's something important to understand. Toyota is not abandoning battery electric vehicles. The company says it is continuing to develop BEVs and has outlined next-generation batteries, including a performance-oriented battery aimed at longer range and faster charging. Toyota has also described plans for next-generation BEVs beginning in 2026. So Toyota's strategy is more complicated than electric cars are bad. It's closer to different customers and markets may need different powertrains. Toyota calls this approach its multi-pathway strategy. That means battery EVs are one path. Hybrids are another. Plug-in hybrids are another. Fuel cell vehicles are another. And Toyota is now trying to evolve the internal combustion engine itself. That distinction is critical. Because the real question isn't whether Toyota believes EVs will disappear. The question is whether Toyota believes one technology should dominate every market. In 2024, Toyota announced that it was working with Subaru and Mazda on new engines designed specifically for the electrification era. Toyota said its engine would be an inline-four design focused on high output and high thermal efficiency. But there was another major objective. Make the engine smaller. A smaller engine can create more freedom in vehicle design. It can allow lower hoods. It can improve packaging. And potentially reduce aerodynamic drag. Toyota says these engines are being designed to integrate with electric drive units rather than simply operate as conventional standalone engines. That's a very different idea from simply keeping today's gasoline engine alive. The goal is to redesign the engine around electrification. Because the world doesn't have one energy infrastructure. That's one of Toyota's central arguments. Some regions have strong charging infrastructure. Others don't. Some markets have abundant electricity. Others face different energy constraints. And some customers may prioritize long-distance driving, refueling convenience, or existing infrastructure. Toyota's multi-pathway strategy attempts to address those differences. And that's where hybrid technology becomes particularly important. A hybrid doesn't eliminate the combustion engine. Instead, it combines the engine with electric motors and a battery. Toyota has decades of experience with this approach. The company says its hybrid systems can combine gasoline engines with electric motors to improve efficiency and performance. So Toyota isn't starting from zero. It's taking technology it already understands and trying to evolve it further. One of the most interesting parts of Toyota's strategy is hydrogen. Toyota has been developing hydrogen-powered vehicles using both fuel cell technology and hydrogen internal combustion engines. And this is where the definition of an engine becomes important. A hydrogen internal combustion engine still uses combustion. But instead of gasoline, hydrogen is used as the fuel. Toyota has demonstrated hydrogen engine vehicles, including a Corolla concept. The company has also emphasized that future engines could be compatible with multiple carbon-neutral fuels. But there is a major question. Can these fuels actually become affordable and widely available enough for mass-market transportation? That's where Toyota's strategy faces one of its biggest challenges. This brings us back to the title. Elon Musk. Musk has repeatedly argued that battery electric vehicles are the more efficient route for passenger transportation compared with hydrogen-powered alternatives. But we need to be careful here. There is no reliable evidence in the sources we're using that Musk has officially declared. Toyota's new engine will destroy the EV industry. That claim should not be presented as fact. Instead, the more interesting story is the technological disagreement. Toyota is pursuing multiple powertrain paths. Tesla has built its strategy heavily around batteries, software, charging infrastructure, and electric powertrains. And these philosophies represent two very different visions of the automotive future. Tesla's advantage is straightforward. An electric drivetrain has fewer major mechanical components than a traditional combustion drivetrain. There is no conventional multi-speed transmission. There is no exhaust system. And the electric motor can deliver torque almost instantly. Battery technology is also improving. Toyota itself is investing heavily in next-generation BEV batteries. Its announced roadmap includes batteries targeting longer range, lower cost, and faster charging. So even Toyota's strategy isn't simply engine versus EV. It's actually engine plus hybrid plus hydrogen plus BEV plus battery innovation. That makes the competition much more complicated. Toyota's biggest advantage may not be the engine itself. It may be manufacturing scale and experience. Toyota has spent decades refining hybrid technology and large-scale vehicle production. Its multi-pathway strategy allows the company to continue using technologies it already understands while developing new electric platforms. That flexibility could be valuable in markets where battery EV adoption develops more slowly. But flexibility comes with a cost. More technologies mean more complexity. More supply chains. More engineering programs. More manufacturing requirements. And potentially more difficult decisions about where to invest capital. Here's the central question. If batteries continue getting cheaper, faster to charge, and more energy dense, does Toyota still need advanced combustion engines? Toyota clearly believes the answer is yes. Its official strategy says future engines can play a role alongside electric drive systems and carbon-neutral fuels. But the market will ultimately decide. Consumers decide what they buy. Governments decide regulations. Energy companies influence fuel availability. And battery technology determines how attractive BEVs become. Toyota can develop the engine. But it cannot control every part of the ecosystem. This is where Toyota's own battery strategy becomes extremely important. The company says it is developing multiple generations of batteries for BEVs. One performance-oriented battery is targeted at significantly longer range, while another lower-cost design is intended to improve affordability. Toyota has also said it is working toward commercialization of solid-state batteries. So Toyota is essentially preparing for both possibilities. If BEVs accelerate faster than expected, Toyota has battery technology. If hybrids remain important, Toyota has hybrid systems. If hydrogen develops, Toyota has hydrogen technology. If carbon-neutral fuels become more practical, Toyota wants engines capable of using them. That's the logic behind the multi-pathway strategy. The strategy sounds flexible. But flexibility doesn't automatically mean superiority. Every technology has trade-offs. Battery EVs depend heavily on battery materials, charging infrastructure, and electricity. Hydrogen depends on production, transportation, storage, and refueling infrastructure. Combustion engines depend on fuel availability and emissions requirements. Hybrids combine multiple systems, which can increase complexity. There is no perfect powertrain. The real question is, which combination delivers the best balance of cost, performance, efficiency, convenience, and emissions for a specific market? That's a much harder question than simply asking which technology wins. For Tesla, Toyota's strategy matters because it represents a fundamentally different competitive philosophy. Tesla's identity is strongly associated with the transition toward electric transportation. Toyota is effectively saying, the transition doesn't have to happen through one technology alone. And if Toyota's strategy works, it could slow the industry's shift toward battery-only vehicles in some markets. But if battery technology improves dramatically, Toyota's combustion strategy could become less important over time. That makes the next few years extremely important. The biggest mistake would be thinking this is simply Toyota versus Tesla. It's bigger than that. It's a competition between different ideas about how transportation should evolve. One vision says, electricity plus batteries should become the dominant foundation. Another says, use multiple technologies depending on geography, infrastructure, customers, and energy sources. And there may not be one winner everywhere. The United States may develop differently from Japan. Europe may develop differently from emerging markets. And countries with abundant renewable electricity may make different choices from countries with different energy systems. So what should EV watchers monitor? Toyota's next-generation engines. How efficient are they? How compact are they? And how effectively can they work with electric motors? Toyota's next-generation batteries. If charging becomes dramatically faster and range improves, the argument for BEVs becomes stronger. Hydrogen infrastructure. Without affordable hydrogen production and refueling, hydrogen-powered vehicles face a major scalability challenge. Consumer behavior. Because ultimately, technology doesn't decide the market alone. People do. The automotive industry is entering an unusual period. For more than a century, the basic architecture of the automobile was dominated by combustion engines. Then batteries began changing the equation. Now we're entering a period where multiple technologies are developing simultaneously. Toyota is betting that the combustion engine can evolve. Tesla is betting heavily on electric power and software. Other automakers are combining batteries, hybrids, hydrogen, and other technologies. And the winner may not be the company with the most impressive prototype. It may be the company that can deliver the best combination of technology, cost, reliability, infrastructure, and customer demand. So, could Toyota's new engine really threaten EVs? Possibly, but probably not in the way viral headlines suggest. Toyota's official strategy isn't simply an attempt to resurrect the old gasoline engine. The company is developing new engines specifically for an electrified future and intends to combine them with motors, batteries, and potentially carbon-neutral fuels. At the same time, Toyota is continuing to develop BEVs and advanced batteries. So the real story isn't Toyota kills EVs. And it isn't Tesla kills combustion engines. The real story is much more interesting. Two very different strategies are competing for the future of transportation. And we still don't know which one will ultimately prove more practical at global scale. Maybe the future is fully electric. Maybe hybrids remain dominant in many markets. Maybe hydrogen finds a larger role. Or maybe the automotive industry ends up using several technologies at once. The next few years could tell us. If you want more fact-based analysis on Tesla, Toyota, EVs, batteries, AI, and the future of transportation, subscribe to EV Insider. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think Toyota's multi-pathway strategy is smarter than Tesla's EV-first approach? Share your take in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.